Okay, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and do some layer organization now to really start figuring out where our rust is at. I've gone ahead and painted, as you can see, the majority of everything here to where I wanted it. Was using that texture we had before. Nothing's too crazy dark. There's a few things that are a little light, but generally it's kind of just got an overall look to it that's not too over the top in any one place. So that's pretty much what I want. And sometimes even if you think maybe it's not enough contrast, you can always go image adjustment, brightness contrast, and you can up the contrast a bit. And sometimes that will help as well. So I'm happy with that for right now. It looks about where I want it to be. Overall, it's got a kind of dingy look, but nothing that looks too old. Like I don't want it to look like it's been like scorched or anything like that. I just want it to look kind of really old and kind of rusty. So with that, I have my base color and my grunge layer here that we just created. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move my base layer above my grunge layer. And then I'm going to create a new layer, new fill layer of solid color. And this solid color is going to be the color of my rust. So I kind of want it a brownish, orange, like a rusty color, So that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to an overlay. And this is going to overlay on top of our grunge layer. And this is going to be the color. It's going to take the darkest values and make them the rustiest, and the lightest values the least rustiest. So you can see here it's not anywhere close to as grungy or dirty, and then here we have a really dark rust. And then with that, we're going to actually add the color back into our palette with the base color that we created before, and we're going to change this to darken. So now that we have darken on, we've taken what we had here before, and we've placed the color back into the texture based on the high value. So the lighter the value, the more original the paint color. The darker the value, the more rusted out it is. So like I said, you can change the brightness or contrast of the underlayer, and that will change the amount of rust that you're letting through, basically to show what was the original. So you can see with the small parts here, these are still stark white, so you're still getting the original paint color, where as I turn it down, it's the last thing to kind of phase out. Or I can kind of blend it all together where I bring all the colors kind of back to where they were. So it's kind of interesting way to go about overlaying. Also, I've seen, if you say for instance don't like the way that soft light looks, you can mess with a few other options, but I've just found through a couple different trial and error things that generally that gives me the best results to do, or excuse me, the darken. So I have darken, and it looks about where I want it, and I can come back if I really think some areas are too dark, and kind of lighten it up within the grunge map. Or also, say for instance, if I don't like the color of that rust, I can change the color of it here by changing this. So this changes the color of the rust. Or I can actually just go ahead and paint onto this. So I can say, yeah, I want to rasterize it, and I can change the color of this rust to say I want, I don't know, say I want some part to be a darker, just a brown here. So I can come in here and change the color of rust by just painting it in myself to be what color the rust is going to be. And this can add some color variation to areas that say maybe look a little too particularly just like one tone. But for this kind of the palette that I'm using, I kind of like that one tone value, so I'm going to stick with that, just that the brown here we have here. So let me go ahead and fill the rest of it back again with that all brown. And so that's pretty much where I want it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and move on to adding the font into my actual texture.